and welcome back to the EDC Squirrel. Got something new today from Civivi. It just came in and is a pretty recent, within the last few days actually, release from Civivi. And from what I understand, it's a lot harder to get a hold of them now. I think they've been pretty much sold out everywhere. I'll take another look towards the end of this video. I'm excited. It finally came in. We've got the Civivi Buster FG. And let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at this. I had this pre-ordered a while ago. I saw their announcement and what was coming out, and I couldn't help myself. Had to get that pre-ordered. Okay, so hold on, just opening a case here. There we go. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Your typical Civivi case. Pretty hefty. Then we've got a, looks like a Praxis or Mini Praxis sticker. Our Civivi sticker. And as always, our product use and warranty information. A microfiber cleaning cloth, which I will make use of. And a mini catalog. This one showcasing the Elementum. Pretty cool stuff. And we've got the knife itself. Again, this is the Civivi Buster FG. A very recent release from Civivi. Put that all back in there. And it's big. All right. So, okay, this version is with the Black Course G10 handle. This has a 4.2-inch black stonewashed nitro V blade. Ooh, I can barely fit this in the camera. And let's see what else we have here. Overall length on this knife, according to their website, is 9.65 inches. And the blade length itself is 4.2 inches with a closed length of 5.47 inches. The blade is about 0.16 inches thick, and this weighs about 6.46 ounces. So pretty hefty knife, pretty big one too. This is probably one of my bigger folders, not including the cold steel that I've got. But again, this has a Nitro V blade, and according to their website, it's a blade hardness of 58 to 60, flat grind, black stonewashed satin flat, and is a sheep's foot style blade. Now, the material, the handle material again is coarse, which, yeah, definitely feels a lot more coarse than their usual G10 offerings. But coarse G10 in black. We've got some really cool gold highlights in the steel liners, and they're full steel liners. We have a relatively deep pocket clip, and that does appear to be reversible. This uses Civivi's Super Lock. The other one that uses this is the Vision FG, and it's probably my favorite lock on the Civivis. I wish they used it more. And in order to use that, you just place your finger there and you push down a little bit. It does feel a little stiffer from what I remember the Vision FG's Super Lock to be. So a little bit stiffer. And you also have some thumbnails. You also have some thumb studs for blade deployment. And that works pretty well. Again, just push down, that releases the blade. Pretty positive lockup on that. Let's take a close look at that blade. You've got no movement on the blade, either up or down or side to side. These locks have been proven to be pretty damn tough. And like I said, it's probably one of my favorite locking mechanisms on the Civivi knives. I just wish they'd use it more. But yeah, that's definitely locked up in there. It's not going to move. I'm not noticing any movement. And let's take a look at that again while it's closed. And as you can see, just like every other Civivi that I've gotten before, that blade is pretty damn well centered in there. That is very well centered in there. That is a thick blade. It's slightly beveled on the back, so the edges don't feel sharp at all. You got some jimping here on the back of the blade. And not super rough with a, well, that's an interesting kind of dip on the back. But yeah, pretty smooth thumb studs, jimping on the back. Obviously, easily able to get a full grip on this knife. And you've got a very generous finger choil up in front to do more detailed, work, finer control of the knife. I don't really feel that pocket clip too much in my hand. I can feel it behind the knuckle, but doesn't feel like it would be anywhere near irritating. They've got a nice little fold over that pocket clip, so a little bit more rounded off than I recall the others. I'll have to compare again later. But sometimes these things like to catch stuff. I really kind of wish they'd use the titanium style pocket clips more often on their knives. You got a few standoffs, no real backliner aside from the super lock itself, which I happen to like because it's a lot easier to clean. Really hefty blade, and balance is right around where that super lock is. It does feel really good in the hand. Very comfortable. I can't get over how big this blade is. Let's take a look at the Vision to compare, because this is the only other one that I'm aware of that uses the same locking mechanism. This is the Civivi Vision FG. There we go. Sheep's foot blade as well. There's the super lock mechanism. And already I can see a few differences other than just the size. The super lock on the new Buster takes up a lot less space, where this one goes almost all the way to the bottom of the handle. This one goes just about halfway. And also the part that you actuate with your thumb is a lot smaller on the Buster than it is on the Civivi or the Vision FG. So it's a lot more compact in regards to the super lock. And you can see here the size difference. The Vision to the right, the Buster on the left. Let's move this out of the way. I need all the screen. I need all the screen space I can use. Very big difference in size. Obviously in weight. Looks amazing though. I love that combination of the black and gold, and the blade itself is a two-tone where the majority of the blade is blackened and the back end is polished. You can see here on the blade itself, we've got nothing on this side, whereas on the other side, you have Design by Snacks. I hope I pronounced that right. And then you also have Nitro V marked right at the edge of the handle. Pretty much the same thing with the Vision. But yeah, massive difference between the two. Let's put this one away for now. And let's see how this one cuts right out of the box. Okay, right out of the box. Let's see how this goes. Oh, that is super sharp. I don't know if it's because of the weight of the blade, but I can barely feel this go through the paper. It's doing a lot of the work for me. Again, this is not a light knife. That is pretty sharp. I know I didn't bother to check, and it's kind of obvious, but yeah, no burrs. Probably. Nope. I don't feel a thing. I'm afraid to bring my finger over to the edge. Yeah, I can feel it. That is super sharp right out of the box. This thing is awesome. Now, the Vision FG was probably one of my favorite, if not the favorite of mine from Civivi, because I really, really do love the Super Lock, how it functions, how secure it is, how it feels. When I'm gripping this, I'm not really feeling that Super Lock. I think that might be the reason why it's a lot smaller on the Buster, because I think I felt it a little bit more in the web of my hand with the Vision. Not that it was uncomfortable by any means, but it was more noticeable on the Vision. And it's also much smoother here, whereas the Vision, you had some jimping on the back of the Super Lock. It's very smooth, and the only jimping you have is on the very top of the lock, where you would need to actuate it. Blade is very smooth, and you'll have to excuse me. My throat is going nuts today. Blade movement is very smooth. I keep forgetting how big this knife is. I'm worrying I'm moving my hand in this direction when I'm talking, or wanting to move my hand that direction, and then I catch myself because with how big this blade is, I mean, that's going to give me a good cut if I'm not careful. But I don't have any doubt on the security of the Super Lock. Again, no movement. These have been proven to be pretty damn strong. Really awesome offering from Civivi. I know this is, again, the Civivi Buster FG, brand new this year, 2025, from Civivi. Super cool offering. And like I said before, I know the Vision FG was probably my favorite knife from Civivi, at least, you know, up until this point, because right now I'm looking at this, and this just very well might take that crown away from it in my eyes. It's just an amazing feeling knife. The workings they did with the Super Lock in making it smoother, more compact, and also stiffer. That spring does seem much stronger on the Buster than the Vision, which just makes it feel a little bit more secure, especially when you're holding the knife at that, like with a full grip, because it doesn't feel like you're going to actuate it in any way. I mean, it didn't really feel like that in the Vision, but with this being a lot more stiff, there's probably even less worry, if that was a worry for anybody. Blade movement is smooth, and the quality control on this, like every other Civivi I've had, has been simply amazing. Okay, so I just finished recording the video for the Buster FG, and there's one last thing I wanted to add while I was working on taking the thumbnail photo for this video, and that's Civivi, please put this super lock on a knife with a blade that is 3 inches or less. Please use this lock on a smaller knife. I would love to be able to carry either my Vision FG or this Buster FG. The only problem is I live in a restricted area where I have to keep my blades generally 3 inches or less. And I would really love it if you guys saw this video. I would really love it if you came out with this same type of locking mechanism on a smaller knife. You have no idea how excited I would be, and probably quite a few others would be, if this came in a smaller blade format, because I would carry that every day. Okay, I just had to add that. That again is the Buster FG. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you liked what you saw, please drop a like down below. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notified of any videos as soon as they drop. I will be putting a link down below, an affiliate link down below, if you do want to check this out on Amazon. Again, it does look like they are out of stock. However, you could still place an order, and then it would appear that it should ship as soon as they get more stock in. Thanks again so much for your support, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.